Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami and Florida Panthers fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for stopping by the Heron Heads podcast, powered by 786 Sports, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. Before we begin, a huge shout out to our chief, Heron Heads, Chow and Mari V. Thank you so much for the continued generous support. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening, as well as a number of other fun links like our Discord server and our merch store. So check those out if you're interested. But today we will be talking about possibly the biggest win in Inter Miami history with their defeat, their 2-1 victory over Porto from the Portuguese league, Liga Portugal. And I got to say, I did not have high hopes, but I was very pleasantly surprised by the end result and by the performance of a lot of people today. So let's dive in. How's everyone doing today?
I'll start. Everyone's kind of quiet. Great win, man. Huge win. Like you said, Julio, I think we all thought we were cooked today. No one expected this, to be honest. Yeah, David always thinks we're winning 5-1. It was, we were going in there, we're like, hey, whatever happens, happens. We just tied to Ahly, and we're going against Porto, one of the best teams in the Portuguese league, and whatever happens, we'll accept whatever happens. But we got in there, started off with that stupid penalty on Noah Allen. It was kind of lame, honestly, that they called it. But once that happened, we're like, oh, we're cooked. I mean, this is the worst possible way to start. Just give them a goal, right? And all of a sudden, things just changed, man. This was a team win. The guys that we expect not to do that great, they played very well. It was a very cohesive team win overall. Everyone did their piece, and honestly, Messi just killed it today, man. He was the Messi that we need and that we want to see on Inter Miami.
I felt good about the game going into the game. I know a lot of the chatter around the team was that this was going to be a tough match after the scoreless draw with Ahly. Everybody expected just to get curb stomped by Porto and Palmeiras. But if you look at the tournament so far, some of these European teams have kind of not been on, like, haven't gotten to the hottest start against some of the American clubs. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a good chance for us to steal some points, and that's exactly what we got. It's true, you don't want to see a penalty given up within the first 6 minutes, but by the letter of the law, that was the right call. It stinks that it happened, and it was right on the edge of the box, but can't be too mad about that. And even then, Ustari still guessed right on the penalty kick, got hand of the ball. It was a well placed kick with good pace. So good penalty there. But then, yeah, like Chris said, everybody clamped down and they did what they needed to do. We had good games from guys that we haven't really seen be very consistent out there. You had Cello, who played pretty well. You had Noah Allen, who had to bounce around. He played well. You had Segovia show up big time, and he's kind of been lost in the sauce for a while now. So Segovia having a good game, and everybody really didn't have. There wasn't that one person, and even the subs. You had Toto had to come in, and he played well, and he played controlled. And then you also had Redondo come in, and I thought Redondo had a sequence there that was fantastic. And it was just good to see finally everybody kind of get in a rhythm. I think the only one that we can all agree on that we were just clamoring and pounding the table to get him off the pitch, I think it's a resounding Suarez was a detriment to this club like no other. If you had Fafa or even Allende started that spot, I think that this is an easy victory for Inter Miami where we could have scored 3, 4, maybe even 5 goals. So other than that, that's the one thing we've kind of been harping on all season. Other than that, I think that this was as good as it could have gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you're excited for the result, but and you're excited for what's possible now, right? Like it's we had a great game, ultimately as good as game as we could possibly play in under the circumstances where we're heavy underdogs, right? Like it's one of those things where when like Chris said, when Noah Allen stepped on that guy's toe and inside in the box, yeah, I definitely thought, well, this is gonna be rough, right? Because it's a very quick penalty. It's gonna probably deflate us, and here we go again, right? Because I feel like if we're gonna beat these kind of teams, we have to get ahead, right? We cannot play from behind, and sure enough, man, we came from behind and we didn't. I felt like we let up at the end of the game. I thought we were just playing very park the bus style of just hoping they don't score on us, which I hate. I always hated so much. But hey, man, whatever. I think we're just happy to get on Dodge at that point.
And the start was so frustrating to me because the first 5 minutes we carried play. And were it not for Suarez not being able to finish, we could have taken that lead. And for then Porto to take the ball in what feels like their first actual possession and go right at Noah Allen and get him a little bit backpedaling, for him to then get a foul that leads to a penalty shot, it's like, man, is this how it's going to be, that we sort of just try these things over and over? We feel like we should have an end result because of this work that we've put in, but then the other team's just going to have such an easy time getting right past our defenders and putting us in very awkward situations where it leads to a penalty shot. So that was really a tough start, I think. So for this team to then hunker down and grow into the game and turn it around, I mean, at halftime, like we've said for so much of the season, that the in-game adjustments is something that we've had a very hard time, or that Mascherano has had a very hard time instituting. So to see the team come out, score a goal minutes into the second half, and then to take advantage of a foul in a very dangerous area for Messi to put it away the way he did, it's incredible. Like it's really a great victory, not just in the sense of it's the first time that a CONCACAF team has beaten a European team in a FIFA competition, but the way in which it was done, the manner in which it was done, the context of it, I think is very important.
Just a fantastic. The last two, like this match and the previous match, their form, even though the last match was a 0-0 tie, their form has been pretty damn good. Like if we had seen them play this style throughout the MLS season, I think they'd be very hard pressed to lose.
I think we're getting played differently also.
Which is true.
I totally agree, Jose.
Which is amazing.
Even though,
this is I feel like how soccer should be played, right? Like it's one of those that, like, when you guys watch the Premier League, it's fun, right? It's not. I feel like they're taking the fun out of it when they play us.
MLS is playing coward's ball, is what they're doing.
It's like, I said it before we took on Ahly. It was right after the Columbus match, and I was like, the path to victory, the route to victory, or the route to success is that teams are not going to shell up and play against us by just sitting back. They're going to come at us. And that's when Inter Miami is really good, although our pace of play and attack is still very slow and methodical, which at points really frustrates me. And I have a good example to share later, but it benefits our style of play. And I'm pretty sure Porto had the lion's share of possession, which typically helps us. And it's just, Porto wasn't afraid to come at us. So there was a lot of space for us to then go on attack and find gaps. And Messi seemingly had a lot of space today. And good things happen when that's the case.
Yep.
And shout out to our defense, man. They held their own. Yes, they had very dangerous chances. Not often, but they had quite a few. But our defense held it down. Falcon with that block on the goal on the right side of Ustadi, just taking his shoulder there. Amazing block. Frey held it down before, unfortunately, he got hurt. He shut down, what was his name, Sumo or whatever, the forward, the striker, humongous Porto striker. He shut him down for often, and that guy's physical guy, strong guy, fast guy. And just overall defensively, we played very well, in my opinion. Yes, you could say we got lucky they didn't score some, but they got lucky just as much, man. Suarez had 3 chances that he could have put it away. Benja had a pretty good chance too that he could have put one away. So that argument could go either way. But overall, I think our defense played super well. Ustadi once again gave us another great performance. Last match, he's the one that allowed us to get that draw, honestly. And this game, he put some, he blocked some that just turned the game around, and the penalty, he almost had it. He was right there. So props to him too, man. Our defense really, the Porto attack is no slouch. They're attackers. They have some very good attackers. Mora and the attacking midfield is very, very good. Their striker, we saw, right? The striker is obviously a specimen to
I
see
salivated, dude. Like when I saw him, I was like, my God, do you imagine we had this guy instead of Luis Suarez? Just
What a
fetching.
difference.
He's there on loan from Atletico de Madrid, right? Because how, like, can we get a big physical striker on loan from Atletico de Madrid and use him too? Like, I think that'd be a fun thing to do.
Just imagine.
You're asking for a lot.
All I saw, there was a corner that I don't know if you guys saw him, that Samu actually got like super free. And I was like, oh my God, if this is set up for like this guy's gonna obviously like just head it in so hard, you know. And it went to the other guy. Did you guys notice that play?
There was a header that he had a good chance on, and there was another one that kind of just flew
There's
out.
one that went just wide.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, those like watching a European team like this play against your team, it's like, can I mess around, man? Like they were absolutely putting it in play every single time. It was beautiful passes into the box. I was like, oh my God, like how are none of these going in?
The last 15 minutes was also like, hold on to your butts.
You felt it.
Because especially if you don't think that we can really stand up to these types of clubs. So then you have that 2-1 lead. You know how precarious that lead is. And you've seen us concede late goals and before. So you're just staring and you're like, get us out of here. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home. And it's just, they kept having chance after chance after chance at the end.
7 minutes.
And then they put,
7 minutes. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then that's when Suarez had a face injury out of nowhere. And then everybody started coming up with it.
I hate to harp on the bad, but Suarez needs to just go to the bench, man. I mean, he had a horrible match all match. I don't care what his rating says. He plays the whole freaking game. He's on the floor,
which is incredible. Which is actually incredible. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
they're like they're seeing this and they're like, do it.
It's insane. And
let's do it. Let's do it again.
And the best part is that finally, when you see Fafa come up to get ready to sub in, you're like, oh, okay, they're gonna finally take out Suarez. Nope.
Allende.
Take out Allende. Keep Suarez in there. Let's keep going. It just doesn't make any sense. Suarez is driving me crazy. That
they
pass
look at that,
from Messi,
I like that. I want
that
more.
pass from Messi where Suarez was literally one-on-one against a goalkeeper, that should have been in the back of the net, and it was not. That's just unexplainable. It doesn't make any sense.
No, and then he also gives him a lead pass that there's acres of space for him to catch up to, and the goalkeeper, who's way further, beats him to the ball. It's just things that anybody else, literally give me anyone else at that spot, and they have a better chance at striking it. And it's just time and time again.
Well, you see, like on the play where Allende sort of swapped roles with Suarez, and Allende got a ball in behind, and he was able to track it down and just cause problems. Mm-hmm. And Suarez can't get to that ball. So you see that, and you're like, okay, how do we not inject some pace into that position? Because right now, it's one thing if you're not fast. That's what I'm saying. Like, but if
remember that when he traced someone down at the end of the game, it was a huge play actually, because I felt like it was right around the time when we're parking the bus and we're kind of like feeling like, oh my God, the wrong plays, and again the wrong person's hands, and it's gonna be wide open goal, and we're screwed.
And it turned into a corner, actually.
It turned into a corner, right? Because he tracked them down, and he was like, "Whoa, what the heck is this?" And he just kicked it out of bounds, and it was perfect. It was a corner. That I think that effectively almost ended the game, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, if Suarez isn't going to be able to track down those balls in behind, okay, then you have to be a target man that is able to put away scoring opportunities. When you're not doing either of those things, I don't understand his position in the squad. Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
So
first chance.
I hope Mascherano is able to look at that objectively and be like, there are other options.
The first chance of the game was exactly that. Like, he got to the spot, perfect whipped in pass by Messi. Suarez didn't even make an attempt. It just hit his body and rolled out.
what did I listened to Spanish broadcast. What did they say 5 years ago? Suarez would have nailed that, right? Because it is what it is, right? Like
maybe even last year, but not this year.
Yeah, the drop off has been astounding with Suarez.
You know what hasn't been? You know the opposite of drop off? Segovia. You want to get into that goal or what, Julio?
I mean, it was great, man. It was great to see Segovia get onto the scoring sheet. It was an incredible goal, like very skillful goal. Chelo and Allende had some good interplay before. Allende drops it off for Chelo, and he whipped it in.
Nice little
and Segovia then coming towards the ball, so like a lot of momentum from both sides coming for him to control it and put it upper 90 was really nice. The Spanish broadcast called it un bombazo, which I have to agree, because it was a powerful, well-driven, accurate strike, and it was beautiful.
And he one-timed it as well.
Where did you expect that to go? Be honest.
I thought
the ball was still going to be in orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he completely
14 in the 17th roll. He just got nailed.
Yeah.
I mean, my actual reaction was I jumped like this, thinking that he lost it, and then when I saw it come down in the net, I was like, so it was like one crazy motion of that. And this match brought a lot of that out, which was fun. That's that key indicator of a really good match.
There were stakes, like there was actual stakes involved, and now because of the result, Inter Miami are in a great spot to advance out of the group, which is it's what we all wanted. Like that, we all said that is a success in this tournament, and we are on the precipice of it, almost regardless of the result against Palmeiras. There's still some work to be done. We can get to that later, but I mean, we've put ourselves in a really great position because of this match.
And if we could fight for a tie or obviously a win, I mean, that's obviously going to greatly help us. But we are in a really good position. I don't believe Ahly. Huh?
Walk us through how we got there. The Messi goal. Are we going to talk about that or what?
I'm not even talking about that yet.
Let's talk about that.
It's in the middle of a sentence.
I'm excited.
Let me just finish my thought. Ahly, if the only way that we don't make it is if Ahly wins, and
we're gonna get into that. I think a little later, Chris. The scenario.
We can talk about it right now. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an agenda in front of you?
Julio kind of foreshadowed that we were gonna get into.
Yeah, but then Chris got into it. We can talk about it now. It's fine. Chris is excited too. We're all kind of excited.
Chris is just like this, waiting to talk.
I mean, so is Jose. Jose's like, wait, guys, let's talk about this.
I will leave it for later. Jose, go talk about your Messi goal.
Well, let's talk about it now. Let's talk about the scenario now. We already said like half of the story.
All right. So basically, we're sitting very pretty right now. So a draw gets us in, and a win gets us in. A win guarantees us to win the group. A draw, we don't win the group, but we're assured the second spot.
Say that again, like to possibly win the group.
Yeah,
no one would have even thought about that.
Yeah, and everybody thought that if we were gonna get our 3 points, it was gonna come against Ahly. So not only coming away with 1 point there when you played not so great, but then coming away with 3 points against one of the European clubs, the only European club in the group, that's fantastic. And doing it away, because it's not like we played here in Miami and had our home fan advantage or any of that stuff. They went into Atlanta and won that game over there. So a win guarantees us group victory. A tie guarantees us a way through. The things get tricky now is if we lose. And when I say tricky, it's still tricky in the best sense. A loss with a Porto win or tie gets us through. A Porto win gives them the same 4 points as us if we lose, but it's a head-to-head tiebreaker, and since we beat them already, we're in over them. If they win, if they tie, neither of the other two clubs have the same points as us, so we advance on points. Now, if Porto loses to Ahly, then that's when the tiebreakers get a little tricky. Right. And I think Julio might have a better understanding of it.
I think then it goes past the head-to-head because we drew without Ahly. So then it goes to the next tiebreaker, which I'm not even sure at this point if it's goal differential.
Goal differential.
I would imagine so. And then after that, we talked about this in the Discord. Like after that, it goes to like yellow card accumulation and then red cards, and then
And we're at the bottom.
and stuff.
When it comes to
Yeah,
yellow
yellow
card
cards are
accumulation,
screwed there.
How many yellow cards did we get today?
I don't think we got any.
So we might not be that bad because there was quite a few. There was quite a few in the Ahly match. I know they got at least 2. I want to say they got 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, because we got 4.
Oh no, no yellow cards all match today.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we played
Very
sound.
shocking.
Other than
There was very few stoppages except for in the second half because there was 7 added extra minutes. But it felt very free flowing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, except for Noah Allen, there wasn't really a like rough.
We got injuries, which is why there were stoppages.
Mhm.
It didn't feel like these games also feel like we're like kind of opposed to like how we've seen MLS games go. Are you guys noticing like less physicality in these games also? Like less like I feel like they're not trying to hurt Messi.
I think it's cleaner. Like these other teams are not trying to irk us as much because they're trying to just beat us. Like they feel that they are more than qualified to just attack us. They don't need to do that because they will feel as if they are good enough to just attack us and live with the consequences of not riding Messi.
It's sounder football is what it is at the end of the day. It's cleaner football, it's more complete football that we're not used to seeing in the MLS.
It's nice to watch.
Honest, right?
I was gonna say, if anything, we look like the more physical team out there. I noticed it in versus Ahly, and I've noticed it quite a bit in this match against Porto. Guys are from the other squads are hitting the turf a lot against us and really clamoring for calls. And it's a little frustrating, but it's because I think that they're not used to kind of these rough play that we're accustomed to. And I'm really, really proud of the referees for letting the play move because we've seen referees kind of just take control of matches and really let it get away. And this has been good. I think a good officiating. Even they're not calling every little foul. They do talk to the players. I saw the Porto has this young guy who kept having the ball and he had committed a few fouls and he even kind of indicated like, am I going to get the card? And you can see the ref talk to him why he's not getting the card and what he needs to do to avoid that card. So the communication with the refs has been really good, not only with the players, but also with the audience as well. Like you're seeing them when they do explain VAR calls that they've been really thorough with their explanation. So as far as officiating, I don't think we have any kind of qualms with them.
And what do you guys think of the ref cam?
Pretty damn cool.
Super cool.
Such a cool view.
Yeah. The view on the Messi goal was absolutely insane.
Let's get into that.
I can't wait for the pitch invader cam.
They're gonna put a cam on Messi's bodyguard.
Is he allowed at these tournaments? I know he's not allowed in the MLS.
That would be funny.
I saw him in the tunnel with them the other day for Ahly. I don't know.
Jose, imagine you just see the pitch invader going.
They always get to Messi and they get a picture and an autograph.
I just like envisioning someone getting just absolutely chased down.
You see him turn the rosary like.
So how about we get to that Messi goal?
Yeah. So it was right just outside of the box. It was our bread and butter. I don't know if you guys remember, but our introduction to Messi, his first goal with Inter Miami,
first time we ever saw Messi.
No,
our introduction to the kid Lionel Messi,
Lionel,
young prospect
in Inter Miami. The first goal he made was from a free kick. It was from a similar spot, right? And it also ended it ended that game as well. So it's funny how like the guys got automatic from that spot, man. Just from that little area. Oh,
it was a really good spot for a free kick, and I remember thinking it when the foul occurred because it was pretty close to the penalty box, but it being central to the penalty box, to the penalty area, is really beneficial because you can go on either side.
Right.
So the keeper really has to stay. He has to stay in the middle, and that leaves a lot of room in the places that only Messi can put it, where the cobwebs start growing.
Mm-hmm.
But did you know, Jose, that was Messi's 50th goal for Inter Miami across all competitions?
In how many games?
How many? Tell me.
Let him look it up real quick.
61 matches. In 61 matches.
Pulling out his almanac. Pretty good.
That is pretty good. But yeah,
And
Messi's
61
50th goal.
20. He has. There's discrepancies. There's different people that say 23 assists. Different people say 25.
He has way more than that.
So whatever. So 75 goal contributions according to the stats in my
Jose's record book.
Record book right here.
That's the book that he sits in front of the TV with every day.
Right.
Every match.
Writing things.
Yeah.
But this 50th goal may be the most impactful, right? Like the one that has the most gravitas to it. He obviously has had big moments. He's had big moments in the Leagues Cup.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, he had many on the route to the Supporter Shield. But
Look,
I mean, this is a huge result.
It only gets bigger from here. That's the thing. It
That's
only
what she
gets
said.
bigger. That's it. All right. Yeah, so it only gets bigger from here. The games they just matter more. And I'm excited about it, you know. So we're all 31,000 fans in attendance today. They were very excited about that.
Our Atlanta correspondent wasn't there though, unfortunately.
No, he wasn't. We missed out on that one.
What do we pay him for?
Could be because it was a 3 p.m. kickoff, and he was working like most other Americans. You know,
I'm assuming, I don't know times, but I'm assuming when
Great
the knockout
games
rounds start,
3 p.m., you know what I mean?
when the knockout rounds start, the times will be better. 3 p.m., 12 p.m. Not good, Bob.
Hey, but Monday's a good kickoff
Monday's
time.
a good one, yeah. 9 p.m.
Jose, will you be there on Monday?
I will. I actually will be there. If anybody is going to be there, let me know. Anybody wants to buy me a drink, I'm going to be going with my pops. Father's Day gifts. Just buy us drinks. We'll be there. Drink them with you.
I'm thinking about it.
Come over, Chris. Let's go. Let's go together.
We'll see.
It only gets bigger from here.
That's right.
It only gets bigger. I mean, the thing is to be at the game where we get with against a. I mean, it's exciting. It's a fun game, man.
And their fans are crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is going to be that's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
The kickoff time is really good to lean into that as well. It's a 9 p.m. kickoff time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great for people in Miami, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Mike V, I was working today. I understand there was a holiday. I was working. I'm going to tell you.
Me too. I think we're all working.
We are working.
That's
yeah.
a fact. That's a fact.
We're working.
We're working. watching the game. Whatever.
Anyways, Jose.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And now it's time for Jose's most and least of the match, presented by SofaScore.
All right.
How about that? Let's get into it.
Let's get right in. Boys, man of the match. Who you guys got?
Messi.
Pretty obvious.
Messi.
Messi.
Right,
I am certainly not any of those things. Landshark, you can at least call me this or whatever.
At least call me Landshark.
I didn't know Landshark still existed, to be honest.
I
thought that was like a.
They're kind of refreshing.
It's fine. It's good.
I like drinking them by the sandbar. You know.
What a land shark.
You know.
I'm gonna start calling him Lanch.
I have a. You know what? I have a nice Chardonnay. Whatever.
Okay. Let's get back to the.
All right.
Now,
I already
Jose,
asked you
most
the
and
man
least of the
matches.
match.
I'm killing time for you. Go ahead.
How about that? Let's do the
We all said
second.
Messi.
Let's do the
No,
second.
you cannot
best
say
one.
Messi. That's not the rules.
There are no
It's
rules.
obvious.
Say
All
something
right,
else.
Segovia. He scored 2.
Okay, thanks, Chris. God, Dave.
But he's not man of match.
We already
Cello.
said he pointed at his. Oh, look at me! I have a picture.
Cello
here.
Wagon.
Cello, great. Thanks. All of them made the list. Messi 8.3, Segovia 7.5, Busi 7.5, Cello 7.3. Interesting news about Busi. Did you guys hear?
Yep, he hasn't had any contract talks.
Interesting.
And he threw shade at the MLS for not opening up the salary cap a little bit.
Anyway,
he threw shade at the MLS for not opening up the salary cap a bit in the last interview.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Spiciness coming from the least spicy guy of the Fantastic
Right.
Four.
What are you talking about? He's super spicy. He's got a Q in his last name.
True. Anyways, yeah. So that was a man match. Least of the match. Who you guys got? Who did you hate?
I mean,
Allende.
Suarez.
You hated Allende.
No, I didn't hate him, but least of the match. Allende.
Why did he backtrack so fast?
I'm gonna
Because
say
you threw the hate in there after while I was speaking.
I'm gonna say no Allen.
Yeah, he had a really ugly face today. Okay, Dave.
I said Suarez
Suarez.
because I hated him.
You're wrong, actually.
I know he's never at the bottom of the list because he gets dangerous chances, and by just accumulating XG, he's gonna improve his score. But that's why I hated. Can't help it. In my personal record book, least of the match.
Pull your book out. Where's your book?
Your book is unofficial. Chris, who'd you say?
Allende.
Oh, so you hated him. Okay. So Allende won 6.4. He won the worst player on the field today. Noah Allen 6.7, just close second. Frey just blew his leg up, but guess what? He just made the list anyways. 6.8.
I thought Ian Frey played fine. I think he
agree.
boxed out a big physical striker plenty of times. Like, I mean,
I think he had a couple fouls, but he also had some really good defensive plays. And to your point, Dave, the ref made some really good judgment calls when the Porto players were sort of fishing for calls, and he did a really good job of positioning himself to see that they were embellishing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they called today Suarez for embellishment a little bit, no? On one of the plays towards the end, he threw that he was literally ahead of the Porto player. He was running ahead of them, which was I was like, oh wow, they're gonna catch up to him eventually. And sure enough, he caught up and just like throws himself, and they went Porto ball. Anyways, yeah.
Hey, how did Benha do? But because what did you guys think about Benha today? I thought he had a pretty decent game.
played a little bit of right back today.
Ustadi 6.9. Thank you for mentioning him, Chris.
I didn't mention him.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I just thought it was a little surprising. 6.9.
He just doesn't have Benha's score, Chris, is the real answer.
Bing, bing, bing.
I thought his game was
everybody's score.
I thought Kremasi's game was pretty good considering they put him technically at defensive mid. He had the one really good chance where the goalkeeper I thought made a really good save because the goalkeeper was starting to go towards the far post and Benha's shot went near post and he did a nice kick save. But I mean, outside of that, it was one of those matches where you don't like he didn't jump off the screen at any point in time. He had the good chance, but I thought this game turned because of the midfield play more than anything. So he was a contributing member to that.
And more on that chance, like how happy are you that he actually took the shot? Because how many times have we seen him force a bad pass into traffic just to not take an open shot?
I mean, same applies for Segovia, right? Just being like, I'm ripping this.
Yeah, it was similar to that game tying goal that Segovia had a few matches back, where again it was stoppage time, so he's like, forget it, I'm just gonna crank it, and it was very similar in that sense. That one was actually a little further out, but very similar situation, except this wasn't at stoppage time. It was in the run of play at the very beginning of the second half. So if we can get that more from Segovia, and notice how these things tend to happen up the middle. Segovia should not be playing out on the wing. Right. So if he can play a little more consistently and centrally, I think it'll open up more chances for him.
And I think it goes the same for Benha, though. We finally saw him play more that midfield position that I've said it multiple times that I think he's playing out of position. He played midfield today. I don't think he's really a defensive center mid, but I think that suits him better than playing out in the wing.
I could utilize his
motor.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. They could utilize what you're saying, Dave?
They can utilize his motor better from that spot and be a box-to-box type player.
Exactly. I think that suits him so much better than flying up and down the wing. And he gets back on defense too, and then he just like crazy guy with his hair on fire.
He has some creativity to his game. So being able to put him in a central position where he's not necessarily asked to go get in behind the defense and take players on in that sense 1v1 to like get up the pitch. I think where he can turn and look and look to make a pass. He has good dribbling ability, but like receiving the ball up ahead is not his strongest ability because of his first touch. Not always the prettiest, but if he's able to turn in the midfield and make plays that way, I think that suits his game much better.
Yeah. I have a did you know? Did you know that we are the first MLS/CONCACAF team ever to beat a European team in a competitive match?
I did. I mentioned that earlier.
Did you know that Julio already said that?
Did you know that Jose doesn't listen?
Thanks for that, Jose.
There you
go. So if you guys will allow me, I'd like to show this play from early in the match.
Is this the one that you put up on Twitter?
Yes.
It
really bothered me. Yeah, legitimately on pain. So, so this play happened in the first half, and it bothered me so much. So Busquets gets the ball, and Allende is wide open on the right wing. I mean, there's no one. He's in behind. There's no one back. The left back is getting back really slowly, and Busquets has a lane to make this pass. Busquets has made this pass probably a million times in his career.
Yeah, he has the skill to do it. So it's not like Kremaski is at that spot.
And I remember when it happened, I'm like, Allende is wide ass open. Like he is free. If Busquets plays that in behind, there's trouble. We're 3-on-2. So instead, he just like nudges it over to Messi. And that gives the Porto defender time to get back and get inside leverage on Allende. Then the most infuriating part of it all is that Messi plays the pass. And there was enough time for Messi to assess that the defender was back in position.
I almost felt like Allende was trying to cut inside, right? Like inside instead of behind.
Right, but if Busquets needs to lead him, right? Busquets needs to play that pass before Allende has the full advantage in this position, right? In this shot,
the previous one, yeah,
right here. They're like the Porto defender is in no man's land. That's like a Chelo getting back super lackadaisical because he was out of position. That, like, if Busquets just plays that ball, the two defenders that are actually back for Porto need to cover Suarez and Segovia. Allende is running free. So then he drops it off to Messi, who plays the pass eventually, and it becomes an easy defensive recovery for Porto. And that play, I was like, man, Inter Miami to get back into this match, they and maybe not necessarily this match, but to play these teams, you gotta go for those things.
You gotta strike, man.
You know, I put Inter Miami need to be brave. Like, you need to attempt it, and it's not even like a player that you wouldn't expect to try to make that pass. Busquets is one of the best passers on our team,
if not the best.
Right. So
it may be just a trust thing, though, as well.
But Messi,
I bet you if Messi was making that run,
later.
I bet you if Messi was running up, if Messi was running up that same run, I bet you Busquets would have found them with no problem.
I don't know what happened on that, and I'm talking about one specific play in the totality of a game that we played very well, but that play, I feel like I've seen that play happen or that opportunity happen and pass us by many, many times this season, and I'm curious as to why we don't take it.
It happened in this match multiple times where I'm like, why are they not passing it to somebody who's wide ass open?
Or not passing for going a pass. There's a play where it was kind of a short, like not where Messi took the free kick, but like probably 5 feet back from there. And Busi tried to like lob it, like very short lob right into the left.
They tried that a lot of times.
And there was one time that he was so open that I was like, yo, like, you probably could have just shot it there, to be honest with you. Like you're I don't know, it's not that far away from an actual just shot on goal where it would have gone out of play or something and we would have gotten a corner. But maybe it's not a goal, but maybe it puts it in play and it's a fun attacking opportunity. I
do wonder if it's a Mascherano thing where he's like, I understand that could lead to chances, but our offensive style is not set up to play that way. But I think you got to take that, man.
It's low hanging fruit.
Being behind in the magnitude of this kind of match, being behind, I think, you have to take that. once
We
they
were
scored and once they got ahead, I think they're playing their ball. You know, that's what we saw in the beginning of the season. You got up early and you sat back, you played defense, played possession, and that's it. But yeah, I agree with Julio.
we were plus 350. We were not expected to make any noise in this game. We're not by any means.
Right,
No one,
which is
no
why
one
I think you got to take those chances. You know what I mean?
If there's ever a time to take it now.
Yeah, so that bothered me because I'm like, man, I already feel pretty bad about this game going into halftime down 1-0. Again, Inter Miami tied it up a lot after the penalty, but I was like, man, that play just stuck out to me. As soon as it happened, I'm like, gotta go for it.
You were talking about the possession that you think that they probably killed us in possession.
Not killed us. I think they had just an advantage in possession.
It was 50-50 possession.
Oh, was it? Okay.
50-50 possession, and they had 5 shots on target. We had 3. They had a lot more touches in the box, which that's something I never noticed that people track. It was like
that happens a lot
triple,
against us.
Like triple, like what we have. I think we had like 10 touches and they had like 30. I was like, oh my god. That's probably why my butt was so tight the whole game. You know,
that happens a lot against us.
They're always in here.
When we play MLS games, that happens a lot against us because we have such a hard time penetrating the box because it's always so stacked with defenders.
Do you have the first half possession, Jose? Because I think the second half, like I said, we're playing more of our game. I thought you had SofaScore open.
Just pull it up, Jose.
SofaScore open. You're the stats guy. Why aren't you not ready for this? You gotta be ready.
Just have the window open. I don't understand.
My point is that I thought our second half we played our game.
Close the book.
We played our game, and I think our possession was probably even because we had more possession in the second half. I could be completely wrong.
I feel like at the end of the match, I felt like the possession kind of switched to their side. I feel like they held possession.
All right, we had it was 52% possession, 52% possession for Porto. In the second half. In the second half. No, in the second half. First half, we had more possession, 52%. It wasn't a big deal. It was
okay.
Any other stats you guys want?
Maybe in a little bit.
Aerial duels won.
We won 60-40. No, not aerial duel, but actual duels 60-40.
What was the dew point in Atlanta this morning?
I believe it was a rainy day in Atlanta. Actually, I don't know why.
The air quality.
One of the articles I read was blaming the fact that it was raining for the low attendance. I was like, you think that's what it was in Atlanta?
Not the 3 p.m.
Interesting take. Let's just say interesting take.
So next up is the Palmeiras match, and it's gonna be fun. It's great that we go into it where there's obviously stakes involved, but we did a great job of putting ourselves in a position where we're in the driver's seat, right? Like we control our own destiny, and 2 out of the 3 results guarantee us getting through. And I think that's as good as we could have asked for, all things considered. So incredible game for this team. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to touch on, but what a win.
I saw a very fun take today that they said, imagine if Inter Miami and Messi actually pull this thing off and somehow just win this. I wonder if Messi would qualify for a Ballon d'Or.
No way.
Really? You don't think so?
Yeah. No, I don't.
No.
Wow. And also the international matches as well. Like I'm assuming that everything goes well. I'm assuming that he mounts, best regular season.
He would have to like really take over this tournament, and just the goals would have to come in bunches, because this would be obviously weighted more heavily than the MLS season. But then also when we get back to the MLS, he needs to just dominate. Which
he has been.
He certainly can, but like the numbers need to be just like video game numbers, for it to equal the weight that is given to what's done in European competitions. Like you look at like Rafinha or a number of the PSG players, but like these players
Dembele.
scoring goals and having high tallies of goals in the Champions League and in any of the top 5 European leagues, like that's weighted so much more heavily. Like I don't even know if it's 2-1 MLS goals to Premier League goals. Let's say it might be 3-1.
I'm gonna tell you what though. You know the beautiful thing about this tournament is, and what sucks is that the LAFC and the Seattle Sounders of the world haven't also continued that. And I was actually rooting the other day for Pachuca. Pachuca played who they play. It was a close game actually, but they were in it with it was 1-1 and it ended up 2-1. I forget who they played, but it was another one of them giants. And I was like, if enough Mexican league teams win, right, and we're playing them in these tournaments as well, and we start winning in these tournaments as well, I mean, it's going to only give us more respect as a league. It's
for sure. I
totally
agree
with you in the sense of he would have to absolutely dominate, but I don't think it's as far fetched. Like it's a huge accomplishment. If we win this tournament, it would be ridiculous. We're a great team. It
would be ridiculous. There will be people all over the world that will say no one takes this seriously outside of the MLS. We sent our B teams, which is not entirely
not true at all.
It's not true at all. But that's what the narrative would be from the talking heads all around the world. It would be a tremendous accomplishment. Do not get me wrong. But that's what the discourse would be everywhere.
And we get that cool swirly trophy where we can just smack it. Spins.
Yes.
Awesome.
Monterrey won. It's nice. I mean, all that stuff helps us, man. I think all that stuff helps us.
Look, if I'm being honest, I think the MLS teams have done pretty good against, considering the fact they played some pretty good teams. I think they've done well. You know, at the end, they end up losing, whatever. But I think that if you watch the matches, they've actually held on to most of the match, and they end up losing towards the end.
They've done really good for losers.
Yeah,
they've done really well. And the only
what I'm trying to do.
The only little problem is that they lose at the end.
Yes, the score obviously says they lose. But if you watch the matches, they've held on for most of the match. They've held on. Hey. Bad teams at the end of the day, they lose towards the end. In every sport, bad teams at the end of the day, towards the last, they get tired, they get gassed, they get outclassed, whatever.
Just look at the Oilers.
That's right.
Who's that?
Well, this is going to rent.
Is that?
I just reset Jose.
We don't want to talk about losers on this podcast. You know,
that's right. Not on today of all days.
Who's that?
Mike V says we are going to make it to the quarterfinals.
Well, let's see how this group shakes out, because next round is one of PSG and potentially Atletico Madrid. So let's see how the rest of this shakes out.
That's when we unleash Ovando.
Or Juventus. I thought it was Juventus the one that we play.
It depends. The games are not done.
PSG is currently losing, by the way.
Right. Well, again, the group stage is not settled, so it will be a choice of pretty tough matchups.
Yeah.
We haven't lost in this tournament, so
sure. It's a good point.
Messi
we should just always play in this tournament.
Messi hasn't lost much to Atletico de Madrid, and he has bad blood with PSG, so we're set.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
I'm here for it. So, if you will be at Monday's match, let us know in the comments, and Jose will find a way to meet up with you so that you can buy him drinks. Apparently,
meet up with me to buy me drinks.
Right.
Or buy him one of those rock hard. Oh no, because it's not going to be at the stadium. I was going to say buy him one of those rock hard pretzels, but it's not going to be at the.
It only gets bigger from here.
There's more food options.
Give him a rock hard pretzel.
And on that note,
you can give him whatever you want.
Great day for Inter Miami. Great day for the Heron Heads. Great day for everyone that joined. Thank you so much. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Follow at the Heron Heads on all socials, and we will catch you on Monday for the post-match reaction to Inter Miami versus Palmeiras. So with that, have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.